Okay, hello everybody. How are we all doing? In this particular video, this is in fact my last video for the PySphere program this month, and I'm really excited to share this video with us. So instead of going further, I kind of took a survey and I discovered that a lot of people feel that, though not majority though, but a lot of people feel that Python is a little bit difficult. And I'm wondering why and how Python is difficult. So I just had to make this video to to create a recap of almost everything we have learned, and also give you a method you can adapt, which some people call vibe coding. So before now, we usually learn software as to know all the variable, or like all the ways to create variables, all the ways to create loops and functions and classes, and we had everything in our fingertips. But these days, the idea of software and programming in general is changing. So the people that are building most software today are people who use a lot of AI tools, people who understand the fundamentals and then prompt AI tools to give them the jargons. I mean the act of repetition or just creating some code template, right? So what we as humans do now is we kind of review the lines of code that the AI system has generated. We make corrections and we push. That's we push to the cloud or we contribute to other resources. So in general, these days AI kind of writes the code and we make the review. But it's going to be very difficult for new developers who don't sit down to really understand the business and how simple things should work, because you can't review something if you don't understand the fundamentals of that particular thing. If you don't understand how it works, it's going to be very difficult for you to say you want to review that thing. So we started off by talking about variables, and we said a variable can be an integer. A variable can also can appear in this way. It can appear anyway, so far as we kind of stated out the rules for creating variables, and we said one of the rules is that the variable naming has to be some characters. It does not have to be numerical characters like numbers. So if we start a variable with a number, it may actually create some error at the end of the day. So I think the best strategy we can always adopt is to name our variables with names that are unique or names we can actually remember or something like that. So this particular one is called the string variable because it is housing a string. This one is called an integer variable. We also talked about flow controls, where we did something like if that particular variable is equal to 2, then we have to print, uh, let's print true. Um, we also talked about the else if or elif. We also talked about arithmetical operations and logical operations. We talked about all of those things. Um, I can accept this. I have an AI tool here in my VS Code that's helping me. Uh, yeah, so if we can't say less than or equal to, since we've already used equal to up here. So it's less than 2. Now, I think also I'm making a mistake, and I think the mistake I'm making is I am assuming, yeah, it's supposed to be true with capital T, and we don't need semicolons. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so this is it. This is how it's supposed to look like. Now, I think the problem here is that I'm assuming that some things are very, very simple and people should understand it. And I think that's where I'm kind of making, so some people get lost at that point. So there are two ways you can run your Python code, right? If you are on your terminal, which is this, or you can open your CMD, your command prompt, or whatever. But here in VS Code, we have the terminal embedded inside of VS Code. So it's usually easy for us to do console stuff and also do lines of code. So there are two ways you can run your Python code. Now, if you type Python here or Python 3 on your terminal, you will go into a Python environment. In this Python environment, you can actually run your Python code. yeah, you can actually run your Python code in this Python environment. Now, the downside to this environment is that you would always run one line of code at a time receiving output, if there is output. uh so it's good for you to just test out some very simple stuff. um but if you want to run the entire code, the bunch of everything, you would have to create a file and name the file .py. In my previous videos I've explained all of this, and for me I feel that um, Python is very easy, especially if you have someone who is very good explaining. So I would recommend that you devote more time to watch more videos, my videos, videos on YouTube, use the AI tools. Just make sure you are doing something with Python. And I feel that even if you don't understand everything now, gradually, eventually, you would get to understand what Python is about. I really don't feel very happy because I kind of tried, I tried my best in explaining some Python concepts. And at the end of the day, somebody says they don't understand and they don't get it. And it really makes me feel, oh, is there a way, is there another way I would have done this? Is there another way we would have done this? And so on. So, yeah. Okay, so let's go on. I'm just going to pin this here. Permit me to, because I love demonstrating with my hands. Okay, and I'm actually going to use them on the keys. So yeah, we talked about flows. We also talked about loops, and we talked about functions. We said if we want to create a function, we can do something like this. Sorry, I'm not here to kind of spell everything right. So those two values, a and b, these two values are called parameters, while the name of our function is this, right? So since this is a function to add, we can print out the addition of a plus b, right? So if we come down here and we call this function, um, we call the addition function, we can pass in two parameters, say 10 and 34. Now if we add up those two values, we should get 44. So we are expecting 44. I can use the play button. This is one way I can run my code in VS Code. Most code editors have a default play button here, especially if you install the plugins. When you come here, is for source control. That's for your git. If you don't want to come on terminal and you're doing things like git commit, git add, git push, you can always use this session. um, I've installed a lot of plugins. This area is the run and debug area. This is the extension. Yeah, so when you come here, you can see a lot of plugins you can install. Make sure you install Python. If you do install Python, uh, it kind of helps you in a lot of ways. So you just have to type Python here and make sure you have Python. This will help VS Code understand that, oh, the guy using VS Code here is a Python guy. So it will kind of bring in some Python stuffs that you need. Like the play button comes up, some Python stuffs will just begin to pop up. And you can actually test out a lot of verified. Remember, verified extensions, so you don't go and get an extension that someone can be spying on your lines of code. Yeah, it happens. Anyways, that's for another day. You yeah, you have to be careful, but you also have to get the extension, especially the ones that are verified from industries that we know. Anybody can build the extension. You can build your extension. I can build my extension. So that's one way. You can always use this play button. If you don't see the play button, it means the extensions are not installed. An alternative is you can come to this file and open in terminal. When you open it in terminal, just type python 3, the same command we used before, but now call the file you intend to run. Python 3 and python.py, that's the name of the file. So immediately we run this, you can see the output here, true and 44. Where did we get true from? Here, because val is equal to 2, right? Here we declare the variable val equal to 2, and because of that, only this session, only this area ran. So because 2 is equal to 2, definitely we have true. Yeah, and this session did not run because 2 is not less than 2. 2 is equal to 2. and we created a function here. We call the function addition. We provided uh, two two parameters, uh, that's a and b. We did the addition of them. We printed it out, and we have the answer here, 44. In some cases, people can do something like using the return statement. The return statement is a very interesting one. It helps us do a lot of things in a much more efficient way. Now, if we run this code, we won't see 44. Of course, that's normal because we are not printing, we are returning. Now, we can actually create another variable here and say sum and make sum to be equal to addition. Now, if we do print out sum, if we print out sum, you will now discover that we have our 44 back because the 44 was not printed out inside the function. We returned it from the function. So there are functions that are void that don't return anything, and there are functions that return certain parameters, and we have been able to make that demonstration. The function that had the print just had to print on screen, and it didn't really give us back feedback. So if you want to work with a function and you want to know if the function actually did exactly what you wanted it to do, maybe you want to take the data from that function and continue processing it, and you have to return something, and you can verify to see what that function returned is actually what you want. If it's not, you can actually troubleshoot, try, accept, and do a lot of other different stuffs here in Python. So now, I just want to add that if you actually devote some time, a lot of time to the study of Python, in a day, if you devote some reasonable amount of time, you should, you know, continue to improve. And now, programming is not a one-day thing. As much as some people will say, this is easy, your easiest, my easiest, let me put it this way: the easiest software you can learn, the easiest programming language you can learn as someone who is coming from no code background is Python. And even at that, it may be a little bit challenging, but don't worry, just keep doing it. Now, what I'm saying so is you just don't, you can't master, most times you can't master everything just at once. Even me, I didn't master everything at once, but I just want to encourage you. I just want to use this video to encourage you that you shouldn't give up, right? You should continue. Uh, Try out vibe coding with AI tools. Try out watching more videos to see how you can use Python to solve problems. If you have gotten the basics and you feel you need to challenge yourself more, go on Let's Code or Code Chef and practice DSA. That's competitive programming, where you see guys solving a problem, and we are competing on bi-weekly and weekly basis to earn prizes and stuff like that. Go on Kaggle and challenge yourself. That's why the second assignment was about going on Kaggle and, you know, and building something and trying to solve a problem, because we understand that by attempting to solve that problem, you will actually have started data science, data analysis. You will have started, definitely the core of Python is the core of everything there. You would have, you know, built a model, and that implies that you would have trained a model to understand something, and that's machine learning, you know, and that's like the foundation, the core of the world of artificial intelligence. So that's why we you know, encourage you guys to do all of these things. If you're watching this video, I just want to encourage you more, right? There are a lot of things you can do if you get to understand Python and if you don't give up, right? So yeah, that's one. Okay, so I'll go on to explain some more. We also talked about loops, talked about the while loop, the for loop, and in most cases there are some things we do if we don't want to use the looping system. We call it recursion, right? We carry out recursion. Recursion is simply calling a function inside a function. So if I call addition inside addition, we are going to have a loop, and that loop will be that addition will call itself, and when it is running again, addition calls itself, and when it's running again, addition still calls itself again. So we have a loop there until we break it. So it is very common to have people create an infinite loop unknowingly when they use recursion. So that's a very powerful one, and I really love it. So Sometimes, as I've explained before, some of these concepts you may not get them at once, but it's good that you don't give up and you continue practicing. Practice is what makes perfect, definitely. So yeah, uh, yeah, I think I've done justice to most of the things I wanted to talk about. So let me introduce you to some tools you can try out. Now, for those of you that have forgotten, uh, we did some things like this to create loops. Uh, it's very simple. Python is very easy. The button up place reruns the code again. So we have 0 to 4 because I is in the range of 5. What that implies is numbers from 0 to 5. Not 5 is not inclusive. That's why we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Uh, the range system, as you can see, has a start point and it also has a stop point, and it also has what we call steps. So, for instance, we can say the start point is 5, we can place here 10, and when we rerun this code, it now starts from 5 and it ends at 9. Remember, the stop point is not always inclusive. We can actually create steps for it. So if we're saying 10 and we wanted to go to 20 and wanted to step it by 2, now when we run this code, you'll see that the steps are in an even format. No, yes, am I correct? Yes, yes, I am. So in an even format, that's to say, 10 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 that way. Uh, you can also, if you maybe starting from the point of 3 and you intend to end at say 35, you can actually 35 you can actually step it by 3 or 4 depending on what you want to achieve, or if or the problem you're trying to solve, and you can actually see it here. You can actually see here. Yeah, this other section is the one we have solved before now, the one we looked at up above there. You can see this here. So it's a very easy one, especially if you know what you're doing. And we talked about different data types. We talked about the dictionaries. We talked about the list. We talked about definitely we have mentioned string and integers above. Sometimes integers may not be the best fit. For instance, if you want to collect an amount of money, a unique amount of money, it's always best to use float in some cases. Or if you know that there's going to be division, so that you don't scrub out some numbers, it's good for you to use float, because 5 divided by 3 will definitely give you a float, not an integer. So all of these things are very, very important, and we talked about them. We talked about dictionaries and so on and so forth. We became niche specific at some point. We became niche specific, and we talked about how you can start up with flags. It is very easy. These things are not difficult. They are actually easy. The thing there is, I think if you ask questions, if you don't see someone who can answer your question, just use an AI tool. Most of these AI tools are trained and well equipped. Let me show you some AI tools you can actually use while coding with Python. And we're going to do some live examples so that you understand. This is the one by the Chinese guys. It's called DeepSeek. Very, very good AI platform. I love it. It's a good one. It's a good one. It's a very, very nice one. I like it, right? Um, we can give it a simple prompt, right? I want we this is DeepSeek, and I've sent my prompt, and the AI tool will begin to process that prompt, and as you can see, it will begin to give me lines of Python code, right? Lines of Python code that I can run, and I'll kind of understand what's happening. I can also ask it questions based on the lines of code it has generated. Ask it, what does this line really do? Why does this work? Why is it that this doesn't work? And so on and so forth. So it's a very, very good one. It's working on that. And another tool here is ChatGPT. ChatGPT is also a very great AI platform. So you can always use this to also write your lines of code. Which is the best? It depends. Some of them are created for different purposes, and it depends on sometimes what you want to do. But the truth is, most of these AI tools are quite good. They are quite awesome. So we can actually vibe code. In fact, programmers, young programmers, especially young programmers these days, they just believe in vibe coding. You just take their problem to the AI and reason it all out with the AI before they take the code to VS Code and they run it. They get some good output and they send it out. So say you're a data scientist and you have data, right? And you want to actually work with the data that you have. Okay, so let me go here on VS Code and see if we have data. Okay, we have a sample.csv file. Hmm. Sample.csv file does not speak much volume. So I'm just going to test how vast GPT is. So I'm just going to say, okay, give me some Python code. Okay, so we have this and we can send. Now, as we send this, the AI tool also begins to generate lines of code. And one thing I love about data science and data analysis is that you cannot do without the modules that make up the niche modules like Pandas, like Matplotlib, like sklearn, like NumPy, like Seaborn, and the rest. So this is a very simple yet very interesting one, as you can see here. So I'll be taking all of this code to my VS Code and I'll be running it so you see. Now the last one I want to, there are a lot of AI tools, but I think I'll stop here. There are a lot of AI tools. Cloud, I observed that Cloud is very good with coding. GPT for me is very good in thinking, especially and thinking outside the box. So if you want to make some research, you want to think about the best way to do something. In fact, sometimes if you don't know the right prompt to use on the AI tool, it is best that you have a meet with ChatGPT, talk with ChatGPT, and then ask it to give you prompts that you can use, on AI tools, and it will give you some prompts that you can use on other platforms here, like Cloud. Cloud is very, very smart. In fact, for me, I believe that the Sonnet 4 it's just built for coders because it delivers more awesome lines of code, especially when it comes to design, decoration, web stuff. So if you're a guy who intends to use Python for back end or Python for web stuff, Cloud is a very, very good place you can try out. Other ones, the Gemini by Google. Gemini is also very awesome. The Copilot, yeah, I think I have Copilot in my VS Code. It also gives me some suggestions. You can also add Copilot to your VS Code. There are a lot of extensions out there, a lot of things. Nothing can limit you. If you just devote yourself to this, you're going to get it for sure. Yeah, so I thank God for those people who have done our assignments, who try to push stuff through GitHub, and who try to watch more videos to gain understanding. For those set of people, I want to say congratulations, right? Okay, so we're just going to give it a very simple one, where we'll use Python to create a backend file. um, All right, so this is just a lot of code right now. So let's try this. I'm just going to take this. I'm going to create a file, and I'm just going to call it AI code.py. Remember to always include the .py extension. It helps the computer know that it's a Python file, and it can easily run that particular file. So I use the play button this time around, and you can see Python fundamental learning game. Yeah, this game will help you learn Python variables, data structures, etc. Now, what's your name? I'm just going to put my name here. Variable, yeah, so you see, so the first Python concept here is variable store data values like score, name, blah blah blah. Hello Kenya. Now this Kenya is coming from a variable because I imputed my name here. Let's play. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 20. Python concept, random module generates not random numbers for games. Yeah, so this module here that was imported, it ships by default in Python. It can help you create random numbers, right? So I have to guess from 1 to 20 what my computer is thinking about. So let me say it's 3. uh so yeah, it's kind of teaching me another concept, the concept of the flow system, where we have if else statements and so on. So I can continue guessing, I can continue trying, but my attempts are, I'm almost losing it. So 20 itself. So the results are out. Game over. The number is 12. So what happened is it ran the command just once, and it created a random number between 0 and 20, and it asked me to guess that particular number. Now it ran the random command. If you look at the code here, um, that's why I say what we do these days is we just review the code, right? So if you look here, this is the secret number, right? Right here, this is the secret number. So to make this game less stressful for me, I can see the max number here. I'm going to reduce the max number to 5, and I have 5 attempts, which means that if I try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I should definitely get it before my last attempt. Yeah, so I'm going to kill this. I used Control C to kill that, and I'm going to rerun it. So my name still remains Ken, and it's thinking of a number, definitely from 1 to something, 1 to 5, because I've changed the max number. And I can just guess, if it's not 1, it will be 2. If it's not 2, then I think it will be 3. If it's not 3, then I think it may be 4. Is it 4? And 5. What's happening? Aha, I got it. I got a number. That's a cool one. So the highest number precisely was it. So 5, congratulations, you guessed it right. So that's a nice game by DeepSeek, by the way. Now I want to give you an assignment. Of course, I won't really. It's just for you to learn. You can take this same prompt we used here. You can take this same prompt to GPT, to Cloud, and maybe to Copilot or Gemini, and see the variations, the different outputs, and then you can compare and say, "Well, this looks nice here, this looks nice here," and that's what some of my friends do on social media. They kind of compare code outputs from different AI tools, and some of them are making it big, based on that little concept. It was a niche that was quite until now, I think very few people are in that particular niche where you always compare code output. So it's a very very good one. Now on the data science side, we see GPT doing a lot of things here, trying to plot graphs, trying to do awesome things, and all we can do, okay, we can get this code and we can go review it to see what's happening. I'll just override all of this, and I'll save this, and I'll rerun this again. Now why I'm not pip installing is because I already have most of these modules already installed. So I don't have sklearn. I thought I do. Ah. So I'm going to attempt to install this. I just pray it works, so this so I can actually Okay, it's installing. While that part is running, we can run to cloud and see what's happening. And I love cloud, as I said before. Now you can see it's giving me the code on another section, and it's easy for me to also run the code and do stuffs like that. So it has created more of like a route for me, an API with flags. So it is very easy if I run this API for me to see exactly what's happening here, right? So I'm just going to copy this, and I hope. Okay, yeah. So it has also told me that I have to pip install flags. Now, the AI tools will tell you the things you need to install because they understand that some things don't ship by default. We have some errors here, so let's do our cloud first. I'm just going to save this. Yes, I've saved it, and I'm going to attempt to rerun this. Yep, we are live and everything is working. Our endpoints are live. Now, this is interesting. As you can see, Flax has told us that it has hosted this script on this particular endpoint. So we are going to copy that endpoint and take it to our browser. Now, you can see the first route here says the API should return backend server is running. We should try request. So we are expecting something like that. So we're just going to paste our endpoint here, our local endpoint. As you can see, 127.0.0.1 at the port of 5000. Let's see if it works. Yep, it worked. So you can see here we are live. So what we can do now is we can actually follow the lines of code here. You can see we have another endpoint here called users. We have another endpoint here. This uses the get method. This uses the post method. I explained this also in one of my videos. So I'm making a general recap on everything so that I understand that the niche areas you are in may be different, but I'm just giving you general knowledge on how you can use Python to do incredibly different stuff. And the interesting thing here that Cloud did, it also dropped a mini kind of doc, so we know how to fire some commands into most of these areas. Let's see if the data is stored. Data is not stored to any DB, but it just gives us the illusion that the API is live, which of course is a very good one, by the way. It makes us just understand how most of these things work. So we can just copy this and test it out somewhere and see what happens. So you can always use the curl commands. They kind of mimic some sending and some receiving and stuff like that. So I don't intend to go too deep here already. I think I'm having some issues there. So back to our GPT, we tried installing some few things, it didn't work. So we're just going to prompt it to give us our models used here. And GPT is smart enough. It definitely knows what we're talking about. So it is going to tell us this is what we need. We need to pip install pandas, pip install this. If you're on a notebook, Jupyter notebook, this is very important. You have to put the exclamation mark here in front. It helps the notebook understand that you actually want to run the stuff on the terminal. That's on the console, definitely, not outside, not on the notebook itself, so I'm going to run the pip install pandas, matplotlib, scikit-learn. I actually thought I had all of these, and this is actually taking some part of my video. I intend to stop this video very soon. Uh, yeah, okay, I have pandas and matplotlib. So we just have to give this some few minutes. It loads up, and we can actually conclude this video. Okay, so for assignments, we have about um, 83 people who attempted the assignment, which is in fact very good. Having 83 people, create GitHub accounts, having 83 people submit something or try to push code on GitHub, I actually feel like a hero. But I mean, I just yeah. So but I'm trying to make this video for those people who couldn't do anything. We have over 1,000 people, so I think having 80 is still on the low side. Yeah. So yeah, everything is successful and we have to stop our endpoint. The best way to stop an endpoint from running like this or flags from running here is to use Control C. Control Z works, but Control Z keeps the process on the background. So the process kind of runs quietly. So you don't want that because you then have to kill the program using some more commands. So Control C does a very good work and we can clear all of this to have a fresh terminal. So we can run this code now. Oh, we're still running our endpoint. Sorry about that. I'm just going to copy this from ChatGPT and data science stuff. I'm just going to copy it and we will move quickly back to VS Code. We'll override all of this. We save it and we rerun. Now we're running it. Let's see what happens. And very good. Very good. This is very, very beautiful as you can see on screen here. We have a lot of things plotted out for us here by Matplotlib. We can see the sales because this is a very simple system showing us the number of sales per year. And we can see this great escalation of sales. There's a lot of sales in 2023. But we had a downturn here in 2020, perhaps because of COVID or something. And what I'm trying to do right now is to explain to you why the data looks this way. Now, I had no conversation with everything I did here. I didn't know I was, and like everything I did in this video, I didn't know I was going to do it. And I didn't know exactly that I'm going to see the things I said, So, but when you see that as a data scientist or a data analyst, the first thing that comes to your mind is a story behind this data. Now, how did these guys get this? How did these guys achieve this? Like, why does this look this way? And when you begin to answer these questions, you automatically will have a story at the end of the day. We went on here. This is a simple data here showing the number of years and sales year per year. And we went on to get the average sales, the highest sales, and we discovered the highest sales was definitely the average sales was here, the highest sales was the last, uh, so this is the visualization of the data. This is where the plot comes in. There are a lot of plots. There are a lot of plots. You can change your markers. You can do a lot of things. You can actually change a lot of configurations here to fit into exactly what you want. And we actually here it has moved from basic data science, data analysis to model prediction. This now involves machine learning because we have brought in a model called linear regression and we fit in those data and we can then make predictions for 2025. And you can see that here we begin to make predictions about sales in the coming year, which is something very awesome. Now, for us to see this, we may have to close up this particular chart model, and then you can see the final plot here based on predictions and based on number of years. You can see it takes a linear turn. So uh, using the linear regression model is definitely a very good way to go. uh, so you can see the prediction here for 2025 is supposed to be 278.57 million. So that's a very good one. And I think I'll end this video here because I've said a lot of things and I just pray and hope that this video helps those people that were left behind. All right. And I'm glad because as I said, this is my last video and I'm really excited. I'll share these links to this video And I'm hoping we get an end party where we just come talk together and see how we can thank ourselves for learning Python. Till we meet again, I'm Ken, yo.